Non-dualist, non-messianic PaRaDiSe of point origin in Genesis 1:1 Aleph. The whole point of engaging in the words of Torah teaching is so as to emulate, enact recreation, or of recreation as it were. Hence its importance, and it's imperative to keep it clear of contamination from posterior inspirational prophets or enlightened poets, researching intellectuals, and the like. Why give so much importance to the Torah teaching? If whatever claim made by sages, prophets, poets, and others after Moses is directly derived from it, then it's okay. But if not, then it's not okay. The reason is simply because the Torah teaching is the blueprints of creation. This means that anything based on it can be legitimately employed to recreate by being creative and make our world as perfect as the universe is perfect. But if it's not, for it would only worsen things by contamination. Given that civilization takes after culture, the place to start is by making the university awful as full of awe is the universe of raw human nature. The problem I see with secondary literature, prophets and writings, or anything afterwards, is that if they miss the takeaway home, the take-home message of PaRaDiSe Genesis 1:1 Aleph, then they're out focused to begin with. My well-rooted suspicion casts a shadow of a doubt on their claim to authenticity. No wonder our world built on it is broken and only worsening every time they try to fix it with the recommendations of prophets and writings and its legacy canonical heirs. The problem is actually double. Missing it, the edifice lacks mother rock. But not only that, its made-up foundations are hanging from the brush of our hand. What's the solution? Simply restart, but this time from the point origin Genesis 1:1 Aleph by applying PaRaDiSe. Make up for the deficiency from now onwards, put 2020 vision on Magoo and take previous readings with a dose of caution. This is the whole idea behind birthing the non-dualist, non-messianic age. Let's start on the front footing by getting the point origin right. It's like making the wrong first turn in a labyrinth. Everything after that won't change the outcome of ending up a dead end. Contrariwise, if the first turn is taken correctly, then all falls into place by added measure in walking. The challenge is deciphering the Torah teaching. The good news is that we got the starting tip right this time around with the point origin. My impression is that it's not about a genius coming up with a solution, rather it's a collective effort of all humanity, with due credit to individual breakthroughs. All this notwithstanding the Genesis 1:1 Aleph provided the triad parts /1 whole S of PaRaDiSe. Additionally, verse 1:1 provided the triad of triads unfolding iterative notion. Collective oversight and individual insight go hand in hand. It seems to be along the same line of thought that there's also collective oversight, as in the case with the Mashiach syndrome belief. The easy way is bailing out instead of following through with the original plan. We've already been told numerous times to be autonomous, not self-sufficient, but yet self-reliant. There is the priestly and the Adonai blessings in Numbers 6:23-27 to ensure early success and heavenly salvation. Additionally to the be strong and be courageous, for Adonai will be there and won't leave our sight, as in Deuteronomy 31:6. If all we do is wait till the end of time for the coming of the Messiah Mashiach, we won't be ready for when bad times require it. We need to prepare doing the most with what we were given already and is at our disposal. Contrariwise, we're just setting us up for failure by holding fast to the M&M surmise. At face value, the Messiah Mashiach life jacket is the denial of the Revelation Project at Mount Sinai to Moses, a disenfranchisement of what we're legitimately entitled to be as recreation of cultural civilization. Ultimately, the MM isn't a he or a she, it's an it. We've known this all along to be nothing more, nothing less than to spring from the Torah teaching. This school lesson 101 is Genesis 1:1 Aleph of the point origin and its takeaway application PaRaDiSe. It's a fail-safe venture. Are we to sit on our hands and see poverty and injustice spread like wildfire? Even worst case scenario, the PaRaDiSe Genesis 1:1 Aleph happened not to be the case, Nothing is lost, and much gained by alleviating the burden carried on weak shoulders. It may very well be proven wrong, since I'm not a certified expert in biblical or rabbinic studies. Likewise, from cradle to grave, the narrative goes from modern times back to Enlightenment, to Dark Ages, to Antiquity, and finally to the Archaic. My thought is that what came previous to the Archaic somehow funneled into this last one, thus setting the stage for civilization as we know it today. Science is post-antiquity, religion is pre-antiquity or the Archaic. Antiquity is a bottleneck like in the classical sand clock. Until we find a way to cross that bridge, we will continue living on both sides of the clock at different times, at different days of the week for the rest of our lives. That's the portrait of dualism in our midst. Having missed the point origin as in PaRaDiSe, Genesis 1:1a Aleph, establishment key holders had no available choice but to resolve that since there's something unsaid missing, then the M&M would come to deliver it later on. Expedient signifies correct means to ends, but morally objectionable. But now that I've stumbled onto it, we go back to knowing that we have all the puzzle pieces to put the landscape together for success on earth in this life, and salvation for heaven in the afterlife. Now one's task is making up for lost time thanks to the M&M surmise courtesy of rabbinism and scholarship. However expedient M&M was, being the alternative that we had been left on the face of the earth with no hope at all for either success or salvation, it was just surmise. The idea being that M&M was coming back to complete our education and fill in the missing pieces of revelation on Mount Sinai. Was there something missing in the blueprints of the universe? Was the Torah teaching incomplete and thus wrong, needing an upgrade with time? Just like there's only one creator, not many, there's only one principle, not many. The clue to where is it is where to find it. The clue to what is it is where to find it. If it's about principle as beginning in thought space, then most likely it's found at the beginning of the narrative. Now a personal touch. I still ask myself, why me? Why me here and now? My reply to the Newtonian math space-time question, phrasing the math principle of creation, is I don't know. The here and now, yes, as corresponding silver lining to the coronavirus, though there have been previous and graver plagues throughout the ages. As for me, why? My guess is that it has to do more with my being Charro Anusim than being a friend of dialogue, less so still being Ricardo. By Charro Anusim, I'm referring to my ethnic composition as probably the most universal there is, as Hispanic, a little of this, a little of that, from natives of the Iberian Peninsula to Roman Hispania, people from all over the then known world, including Sephardic Jewry, to part of Visigoth Empire of Germanic tribes, to Moorish Spain, with ingredients from then Muslim world and North African countries, and Native American Indians, who mixed with Aboriginal tribes and hordes coming from Asia, and now as Latinx in white and black and in between America. As for my age, well, perhaps to show that the most creative, which is our distinguishing characteristics, actually happens like the Aula Minerva, taking flight at dusk, like dessert, leaving the best for last. Before that, we're just slaves to our passions, craving for enjoyment, as the friend of dialogue Socrates would reply when asked about his old age. But going back to the MM surmise, while expedient in the eyes of the establishment sages throughout times, it amounted to denying completeness and thus affirming imperfection to the Torah of Revelation. It's like selling something to someone while holding back vital user manual information about the product or providing the username, but not the password to the master key file. So then, if my reasoning is right, we need to focus our efforts to the task of a recreation of sorts to make paradise on earth and the heavens. How can we find its purpose? PaRaDiSe Genesis 1:1a Aleph, its point origin, is the tip of the yarn to get us out of the maze. No more ifs and buts or maybes. We need to and can push forward with the recreation of civilization with culture of an awful with E, university corresponding to an awful with an E universe. When in doubt about which turn to take in the labyrinth of life, go to the source of the Torah teaching for a sense of orientation. Out of the myriad of 613 commandments, one commandment stands out as in Deuteronomy 6:1. There may be many huhim decrees and many mishpatim ordinances, but there's only one mitzvah, commandment. Which is it? It's a Shema, listen, as laid out in Deuteronomy 6:4-9, in visual format for ease of understanding. As we can easily ascertain, it is an application of PaRaDiSe, being the case that it fits like shadow to a stick. The proof of the pie is in the eating. That said, now fast forward. On the practical end of the spectrum, this connects Awful University with E with a Ameriversal Constitution project playing the triad protagonist of culture. The Ameriversal project of upgrading our data constitution and superseding the Messiah Mashiach sermons are both applications of the point origin principle of PaRaDiSe, Genesis 1:1a Aleph. Be it for earthly success or heavenly salvation, once triggered as PaRaDiSeism project, we're set to go, unfeathered, towards knowledge and life. Are we all washed out like a used tea bag? If you're wondering about the silver lining to COVID-19, my proposal is this book. I need to put an end to this book, by the way, all the while leaving it pointing in the right direction to the next work. Check out the other episodes of the series. This is a leadership course. Try out for size. Well, that's all, people. Yours truly, Rick, your Chad Anusim, and GD Bless, Austin, Texas, capital of the world.